Collection of SaGa Final Fantasy Legend, released in December of 2020, retailing for $19.99 on Steam, Switch, and cell phones. This is a collection of 3 Game Boy games, that being Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3. And these games are not enhanced in any way. These are very much the same games you played back on the Game Boy. The only changes made are a few very minor changes to the translation. If you are playing on a cell phone or Switch, you have the option for touchscreen controls, which can be placed as you like, in either a widescreen or portrait format. You also have the option of playing the original Japanese versions of these games. The fact these games haven't been changed is both wonderful for nostalgia, but can make them obtuse for a new player, as only Final Fantasy Legend 3 is really a traditional JRPG. And coming to terms with the mechanics in Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2 can be a steep challenge for a new player. And this problem is made worse by the fact you don't have access to the manuals and charts that came with these games back on the Game Boy. And yes, all of this information is available online, but it should have been included and been easily accessible to the player while playing. But lack of manuals aside, these games were great games back on the Game Boy, and were quite impressive on that platform. However, today these games are a little rough, as they are still presented with the limitations of the Game Boy in mind. For example, you don't have a way of knowing how good a piece of equipment is. Is a longsword better than a battle hammer? There's nothing internally in-game to tell you. This information was provided on a chart that came with each one of these games. What does any given spell do? There's no description on any spell. And yes, some spells are obvious, but not all of them. Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2 are also very obtuse games. They don't have traditional leveling systems like most RPGs, with a lot of progression being dependent on items and being purely random. Along with that, weapons are limited in their number of uses in both of these games, meaning that grinding for stat increases comes at the cost of money by having to buy new equipment, which makes becoming more powerful in these games a rather delicate balancing act. Final Fantasy Legend 3, on the other hand, removes most of the more obtuse elements found in the first 2 games, as we now have a traditional leveling system, and weapons no longer degrade with use. However, all 3 of these games have very high encounter rates, and will require a great deal of grinding if you intend to see the end of them. So, is this collection worth buying? Well, it is only 3 games, and there is absolutely no genre diversity here, but if you have nostalgia for these 3 titles, I absolutely recommend picking this up for the $20 price tag. And if you've never played these games and are curious about them, this is easily the cheapest way to play them, as finding the original Game Boy carts is rather expensive these days. But if you are new to these games, be ready to look up a lot of information online, as these games are rather hard and very obtuse, and most of that is due to the limitations of the Game Boy hardware. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.